Hey everybody, Matt from Eastwood. We're here in the Eastwood garage again. For any of you guys that haven't watched one of these before, we want it to be pretty interactive for you guys. So we want you to log in, join the chat. We're live on YouTube, Facebook, and also on Eastwood.com. We got Scotty over here as always. Scott's doing the chat. How you feeling today, Scott?
Pretty good. I want to make sure I get this all loaded up here, and that way I can answer all their questions. So feel free to shoot them over, and I can either answer them live or I can shoot them over to Matt and have him answer them for you. So make sure you stay tuned in and ask questions.
All right, cool. So today, this welder we're going over is the MIG 250, the Eastwood MIG 250. This welder is back in stock now. So we sold out of these. This is kind of one of our big boys for MIG welding that was really popular that we were sold out for a little while. It's now in stock. You can go right on Eastwood.com. You can pick it up. You can see there the item number if you want to type it in, or you can just search MIG 250. And this unit's been out for a little while now. It's an inverter welder, but this is geared more towards heavy fabrication side. So it's 250 amp welder, as the name sort of obviously suggests here. And the inside of the machine, this is set up more for you guys that are doing heavier work. If you're working in more of a production shop, this is going to hold up to that type of work a little heavier. The drive setup here, you notice it's pretty much 99% all metal, except for the little adjusters here, but all the drive rollers set up here, the body, it's all metal, so it's going to hold up. You're not going to have any issues with the plastic fatiguing or anything like that. And nice thing about this welder, one of the nice things is you can run the larger spools in this. We just have a little one that we throw in here to do today's broadcast, but you can run the 10-pound spools in here, the real big ones. And if you're doing a lot of welding, you can run the big spool in there. It's no problem at all. Another nice feature of this welder over some of the other ones we offer, and this is probably my favorite one, is you don't waste gas. If you're a penny pincher like me, it's got a quick feed here where you can feed the wire when you run out. And I'm running low on wire here, so if we do run out, you're going to get to see that happen. So that's the inside. Of course, we always have a chart in here for you guys that gets you set up really close. So this is a great starting point. If you're just getting a welder and you want to get familiarized with it, you can use all these settings and you can dial it in. It even gives you all the different gauge of wire, and it goes all the way up to 0.45 on this. So if you're doing some real thick stuff, if you're going to be doing mainly thick stuff, you can jump up to the larger wire. So today we just have 0.30 in there because we're going to be kind of showing you the gamut of what this machine can do. So we'll do a little bit of welding, and I'll kind of talk back and forth, and if you have questions, shoot them over. So I have a piece of quarter here. This is kind of, as far as car automotive fabrication goes, quarters, something that's pretty common on the heavier side you're going to deal with doing chassis work or suspension fabrication. So I got the machine set up here real quick, and we'll do a quick pass, and Randy will get an under the lens shot then. I'm going to turn this towards, you want to go here. We'll try and get everybody all set up here so we can hopefully get a little under the lens shot. And when you're ready, I'll try and run a pass here. And bear with us. We got to make sure we can get in here and get you guys a good shot. So. All right, and all right, we're going to go here under the helmet. So one big thing you guys will notice if you have a transformer welder, this is an inverter style welder. Help Randy get out of, got a little bit of wires here. You can hear how smooth it is. When you're welding, the sound and the feel actually is a little different between an inverter and a transformer MIG welder. This thing is a treat. I have a MIG 175 at home that I use quite often, and that's the difference between how smooth this is because it's an inverter welder is really incredible. I'll turn around so Randy can get a shot then of the weld we did there, so you guys can see under the hood. So again, this is 1/4-inch steel. I have the machine turned up just a little over half on this for this 1/4-inch steel. So this thing has plenty of power to go above that. And we'll show you here in a little bit. I'll weld something a lot bigger. So it does have, as far as the consumables go, this isn't something that's Eastwood specific. This has a Binzel style nozzle on this that you can basically just pull the nozzle right off. So unlike the Tweco style, when you get into the higher heats, this is a little better, this style. So this is a Binzel style where it comes off, and it's got a Tweco style actual contact tip there where it unthreads out. But this, because this is a slide-on style, you don't have to worry about any issues of having any type of glues or anything to hold the threads in. This is just a slip fit like that, which is really nice. Makes it easy to swap them out. Another thing that I love about this welder is it's got the little ball and socket here. This isn't something we shout about too often, but this is really nice for letting the cable kind of, the lead, do its thing. So when you're welding on something, it's not going to get caught. It's going to move around. It has a little spring here that also helps it from fatiguing this part of the line. So we've seen with a lot of you guys that use and abuse your welders just like I do. A lot of times you start getting kinks or splits in your hose or your lead here, and that can be stopped by doing something like this, by having the ball and socket and having a little spring there. You can have a little bit of tension, so it's not going to bend it in half, and you're going to have to replace your lead there. So that was, like I said, some 1/4-inch stuff that we welded. Now what I can show you is we'll jump real quick to some thin stuff here. And again, if you have any questions, feel free to shoot them over. Scott's over there answering questions. We got anything?
Yeah, while you're setting up, they want to know if this unit can run on 110 or 220 or both.
Oh, great question. So this unit, one amazing thing with how powerful this unit is set up for 110 or 220. So what we include is a little lead here that is an adapter plug. Real simple, but it's got our 220 plug for the machine on this side. And on this end, it's just got your normal 110 house outlet. So all we do is we just unplug this, plug this right into a wall outlet or extension cord, and you can weld thin gauge stuff. So this is self-sensing, so we don't have to do any changes. We can shut the machine off, change the plug around. It's going to go right to 110 with no issues at all. The only thing that I will mention, and we actually have it on the front of the machine here, I'll turn it so Randy can get a shot so you can see the controls in general, but you can see we've put a little kind of warning area, if you will, that tells you where you need to stick with the 240 input only. So once you get past there, you're going to have issues where it's probably going to be popping your breaker, and you're not going to be able to really weld. Even when you get up into these higher settings here, just before that, if you have a weak breaker or a smaller breaker, you may run into issues when you're doing longer runs. So keep that in mind. But if you're doing sheet metal work or thin to, I'd say light duty fabrication, you can get by on 110 with this machine. It's really efficient with the inverter setting, inverter power source on it. So now I'm going to switch over my settings and we'll show you a little bit of thin gauge stuff here. So I'm just adjusting the front down to about 19. I made a little note for myself so I don't have to fish around too much. And we'll turn our wire speed up. Now for the thicker stuff, because I'm running a thinner wire but running some thicker metal here, I had to have my wire speed cranked real high. So now I got it adjusted just a little bit. I got just some 20 gauge steel here. Again, we haven't changed the wire, just played with the settings a little bit. And I'm going to zap this together here real quick. probably give it a little more heat here. Turn so you guys can see. And we'll dial it up. Now the nice thing with the infinite adjustability, I can jump around and dial this thing in real nice. And I'm just trying to keep the sheet metal from overlapping here. And I'll do a couple more. So you can see how quick I just went from welding 1/4 inch right to doing some sheet metal. At first two I did, I think were a little cool. How I like them, I like to run the, I'll try and turn this so we can get a better shot here. So first couple I did, I think that one and that one, that was a little cool. I like running the heat actually kind of higher than the settings suggest, because I like to get in and out really fast when I'm doing sheet metal work with a MIG. So you can see these ones that I did towards the end, they're nice and flat. And I'll flip this over and try and keep it in the same spot for you guys. So you can see the penetration. It's great. I mean, we're getting 100% penetration there on the sheet metal, which is what we definitely want. So we can sand, we could sand the top of the weld off a little bit, and we're not going to have to worry about, breaking the weld by doing that. So that's sheet metal, that quick. And if you want to run aluminum, I imagine the question's probably coming, but we have, maybe I'm saving you asking a question, Scott. We also have a spool gun set up here, which is loaded up with some aluminum wire here. So if you want to run aluminum with this machine, you can change over to 100% argon, and you can plug this in, switch it over to spool gun setting, and you can run a spool gun. Now I would suggest, if you're planning on running some spool gun, definitely get one of these Pro carts that we have the welder sitting on here, because this has a 2-bottle setup here, and you can just have your hose separate on the back here. We only have 1 bottle in right now, but you can put a second bottle right in here, and you can keep your regulators. If you get 2 regulators, what I would prefer, all you have to do is just switch your hose on the back, and you're ready to run a spool gun. You don't have to pick a bottle up, move it out, do anything like that. You can have 2 bottles in there, which is great. And obviously it fits the machine very well. Any other questions before I do another run here?
Sure. Speaking of the aluminum spool gun, do you know, they've asked what the maximum thickness you can do with the spool gun is?
Is it?
1/4 inch.
I think it's 1/4 if I remember.
Yeah.
Yeah, so my memory is not, I don't do aluminum. That shows I use the TIG welder.
Yeah, there's the TIG welder, yeah, and there's so many specs to memorize.
Yeah.
But
so I believe it's 1/4, and you're a tech, so you probably remember even better than me.
Yeah, well, you're the TIG guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's where you always do your work.
Yeah. So, but yeah, so with the aluminum wire. Again, the wire that you run through the spool gun is going to change your settings and what you can actually weld. But 1/4 inch is acceptable with that spool gun in this machine. So. Now, just because I'm going to show you, we've got some thick stuff here. So this machine's rated up to 1/2 inch. So just because I like to push it, I'm going to do some 1/2 inch. So I mean, this has got some balls to it. This is not small. So this is 1/2 inch. We're using 030 wire, so I kind of got to dance around a little bit with the settings and the welding. When I'm actually welding, just to get it to work just right. If I'm welding 1/2 inch and I knew I was doing a bunch of it, I would switch over to the 045 wired. So check my notes to make sure I am where I want to be. And again, I got to crank that wire speed way up because we're doing that thick stuff there. So I'm just going to do a short run, and then I'll show you the piece. And that gets hot. So I got that thing cranked up pretty high here. I ran a test one on the back before the broadcast just to make sure, but I ran one here. It's melting in real nice. Again, if I want to dial that wire speed down a little lower, and if I was doing a lot of real heavy stuff, I would jump up to the 045 wire here. More that way. There we go. And then I got another. And then I'll swap. That's the one we did before the broadcast there, just to dial the machine in. But you can see, you really see that the machine is very smooth as far as the drive rollers go, and with the inverter. I can't shout enough about how smooth it is. It's really a treat welding with a nice inverter, high-powered MIG welder like this. It's just, it makes it a treat to weld. So that's some half-inch stuff. If you start getting into building bridges, this might be a good welder to get started on. But works great for automotive. I don't think I really have anything I'm doing on my stuff that's half-inch thick plate.
Yeah, that's some nice fabrication, but it's nice and portable too. Because I mean, the inverter makes it lightweight. The ability to run on 110 or 220, yep. You can use it anywhere. So if your buddy calls and you need to weld somewhere, it's only 110. Throw a little flux wire in. You don't even have to carry a bottle with you.
Yeah, and I think it's a little under 70 pounds, 65, 66 pounds. So the welder is light enough that you can just pick the welder up, throw it in the back of your truck, which is really nice for, you know, like Scott said, making it mobile. Any other questions that we have about this?
No, we're good.
Cool. So again, MIG 250. For anybody that's joining us late, this is recorded, so you guys can check some of the welding we did with this machine. But this is Eastwood MIG 250. This is back in stock now on Eastwood.com, so you can grab this. You can grab this machine right on Eastwood.com. It'll ship right out, and you'll have it at your door, and you'll be burning some thick metal with this. So again, thanks guys as always. I appreciate you guys following us. Tomorrow is got the Concourse spray gun. So we're going to be doing a little setup of the paint gun for you guys, and let you just check out, you know, why that gun is probably one of our best sellers. So again, thanks for joining us. I'll catch you guys tomorrow.